Welcome back. You're still tuned into Midcap Radar on CNBC-TV18. While we've been discussing secondary markets, the primary market has been buzzing off late, and how June saw an IPO rush unlike any other month so far this year, and some of these turned out to be stellar listings as well, like Idea Forge and Cyan DLM just today. It listed at over 50% premium to its issue price, that is Cyan DLM. Amid all this action, we are now joined by Raja Lahiri from Thornton, Bharat, and Pranav Haldea, who's the Managing Director of Prime Database, to discuss what the street can look forward to and whether the exuberance that we are seeing in the primary market is expected to continue through the course of this year as well or not. Gentlemen, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us here. Pranav, first up, let me come to you, because 2023, FY 2023, that is, it saw IPO funding halving on a YOY basis. We did not see a lot of traction there. What is 2023, that is calendar year 23, looking like, and FY 24 as well? Is the pipeline strong when it comes to primary markets?
Well, even as far as FY23 is concerned, it was dominated by the LIC IPO. If one takes out that, then the fundraising last year was also nothing in comparison to what you saw in FY22, where you saw over 1 lakh crores being raised. Coming to the current year, this year, both on a calendar year basis and also on a financial year basis, has been very subdued thus far. I mean, this financial year, you've only seen about 8 IPOs coming out. For about 8,300 crores, and that also obviously dominated by the Mankind Pharma IPO. If you look at the others, they've been fairly smallish deals which have come out. All the same, given what you're seeing on the secondary market, we know that primary market always follows the secondary market with a lag. You're already seeing some IPO momentum coming in, 2 good listings recently. Like I've been saying, the pipeline, there is no dearth on the supply side. Even as we speak right now, there are about 42 companies looking to raise 50,000 crores, which are holding SEBI approval, and another 26 companies looking to raise 36,000 crores, which are awaiting SEBI approval. So as far as the supply side is concerned, there is no dearth. Of course, the market sentiment needs to be opportune.
So just to get the numbers right, 40 companies have got the SEBI approval and they're looking to raise 50,000 crore rupees. And how many companies are still awaiting SEBI approval and planning to raise 36,000 crore? What's the other number?
42 companies are holding SEBI approval, and another 26 companies which have filed for SEBI approval.
Okay. Pranav, but up until now, we've had fairly smaller size issues, right? Companies raising 600 crore rupees, 700 crore rupees. We haven't had a mega IPO, the likes of, the Paytm and LICs, which took place a couple of years back. In the pipeline, which is, to follow, do we have these large IPOs? Or do you think it's still the small and mid caps which are looking to raise?
Well, in terms of pipeline, of course, you have the Tata Technologies IPO, which is there. You saw that NSDL has also recently just filed for SEBI approval. So there are some big ticket deals. There are also some new age technology companies like Oyo, like Mama Earth, which are also looking to raise significant amount of monies. So there are quite a few large IPOs, but what you typically see is it takes a while before the large deals hit the market. Just to show you the state of affairs, just since January of this year, you've had 25 companies which have let their SEBI approval lapse. And these companies were looking to raise close to 50,000 crores. So we have to understand that, for a company, an IPO is a once in a lifetime event, and they would want to launch, when the market is, at a, in a bullish phase, and they would rather let their approval lapse rather than launching when the markets are volatile or bearish.
Okay, so that takes me to the next part of this discussion. Mr. Lahiri, I wanted to speak to you about what the valuations are looking like and what is the reason why I would say all these companies are holding back with the IPO listings and going ahead with this plan as well. What is it looking like? Do you think there needs to be a trigger or something is holding back these companies to come up with an IPO?
Yeah, so I guess as Pranav rightly said that IPO is a one-off kind of event for a company. So I guess the importance is the timing, right? in timing, not just in terms of where you hit the market, but in terms of where your business model is. So, for example, today, you definitely investors want to see solid business models, free cash flows coming in, right? And which will drive valuations and timing of the market. So as Pranav again said that, there are 40 plus companies which have already filed for DRHP. There is actually a good momentum that is already there preparing to hit the market. But for me, it is always about the timing, right? Which is driven by the market sentiment, the macro. And finally, I've always believed there's a quality of the business and the business model. So that's a very critical part. And the second point I just want to highlight is the opportunity here. If you look at globally, from a global IPO market perspective, the global volumes are down by 5%, the values are down by 36%. So there is clearly a slowdown in the market. So India can't be kind of different from that. But what is standing out is Asia Pacific constitutes 60% of the global IPOs. That's one. Second, very clearly from a growth momentum perspective, I do believe that this decade will be driven by IPOs from Asia Pacific and largely India. So I'm pretty bullish in terms of the kind of the momentum on the IPOs that are building across sectors.
Is there any concern that, we also simultaneously, for the same money which is available in the market, Raja, we are seeing, the PE institutional promoters also at the same time trying to lap up the money. So they're also trying to make hay while the proverbial sun shines. There is a competition for the capital which is available out there. Primary market and even the secondary market, QIPs, etc. are hotting up. Would that be a bit of a concern for the upcoming IPO season?
Yes and no, in the sense that, private equity obviously has a very key role, right? Private capital. But if you see overall trends, any company which is private equity backed, right, has already gone through the process of preparation, governance, and all of that, those kind of areas, right, which is so important for an IPO. So their chances of going to the market and really being compliant and the kind of governance that is required today to be listed, I think is much higher. So I would say private equity-backed companies clearly would stand a good chance. But having said that, I think we are also seeing situations where it's a traditional sector and we are seeing companies with free good cash flows and directly wanted to go for the IPO market as well. So it depends on the nuances of the companies and the sectors as well.
Okay. Pranav, last question before we wrap this discussion up. New age companies, they were the big talking point in 2021, 2022. Anything that one can look forward to in 2023, or they are also holding back because of valuation concerns?
Said about those new age companies, and I always say that we also need to look at it, in the context of what happened globally. You had a tech meltdown, and across developed economies, you saw a lot of companies, tech companies, which had come out with their IPOs, also meeting a similar fate that you saw in India. So I think that was a bit of an overreaction. All the same, I think there have been a few regulatory developments. One, for example, the new age companies now need to disclose the key performance indicators. They also need to disclose all the previous transactions which have happened at, and at what prices. So I think these are steps in the right direction. They would give a good sense to, investors which are looking at these IPOs. Of course, we have to, these represent the future, so to speak, right? Whether you talk of a Zomato or on the payment side as well. There's a lot of untapped potential which is there. And, from a long-term perspective, these could be very good bets.
Okay, all right, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us and taking us through your views on what's happening in the IPO market, buzzing in the month of June. But let's see whether that momentum continues or not. Well, that's all about the primary market and what is expected from there in terms of new listings as well. We'll slip into a short break now. When we come back, we'll get you more on markets and a lot of stock-specific action that's taking place. Stay tuned.